So this is the song Story of Delight. I kind of wanted to make a video and kind of go a little bit more in depth about how I wrote the song Delight and what it was birthed out of. It was birthed out of a spontaneous moment of just sitting and worshiping the Lord, which is always my favorite way to write a song. But I just kind of wanted to bring you guys along of how I wrote it and just honestly how it healed me and restored my soul. So it was a Saturday night, and me and my friend Irina were going back and forth whether we should stay at our friend's worship event that they have, or if we should go back to her house to worship by ourselves. And we just really felt pressed to go and worship him on our own. For us, there's something so special about nobody seeing us and just being alone with him. And so we went back to her house and we were just worshiping. And in this moment of just worshiping the Lord, I had my eyes closed and I was just like this. And I just felt him come stand in front of me, and I just heard him say, "I delight in this right here." And usually, like, when the Lord comes and says stuff, it's like, you know, it's a moment that you needed to hear that. And really, the past year leading up to that point had been really hard for me. I had kind of not pushed the Lord away, but just created this distance between us. And I had limit how much I let myself feel him and be moved by him. I had an experience where someone sat me down and they said, you know, "Hey, your worship is kind of distracting and you're kind of doing too much. If you could kind of tone that down and just kind of like not do so much, that would be really great." And that wrecked me. And I didn't know, like, it just took honestly forever to process. And so leading up to that point, those words really rang in my ear every time I would worship on my own, every time I would worship in public, like in any setting of worship. Those were the words that just like, "Oh, your worship is distraction, so like try not to do so much." And so, like, for me, the reason why I get so undone is that I try to fully surrender myself to him. I try to fully just be undone and say, like, "Lord, like, here I am, wreck me, do whatever you want to." And so I don't care how that looks to other people, but from that point on, it really affected me and my worship. And so when he came and he stood and he said, "Aisha, I delight in this right here," I was like, what? And then he said, "Aisha, I delight and I come near." And he's like, when you pour out your heart to me, when you separate yourself from everybody else and you worship me and you pour your affection, I come near. And then he said, "I delight to hear your voice." And man, I mean, that broke on many levels, because I'm a loud, if you guys know me, and I know you know me, I'm a loud person. I'm a vibrant person. And sometimes I just like felt it was like such a negative thing, but I didn't know, like, how do you not be loud, like, when it's your personality and like it's just who you are. And so that just broke me on so many levels, to know that he delights in my voice. When I sing, when I talk, when I'm laughing hysterically at something, he delights in that. And then he said, "I delight to know that I'm yours." He said, like, this closeness, this relationship, this communion we have together, I delight in knowing that I'm yours. And when he said all those things, it just wrecked me. I mean, I was just like, what? Jesus, your full affection's on me right now. And you're telling me that you delight in all of this. And it was like, from that moment on, his voice became louder than the enemy's. And so I just began to sing that of, you delight in this right here. You delight and you come near. You delight to hear my voice. You delight to know I'm yours. And so I just began to just pour out, because it was like, it hit my heart. And so I was like, sing his truth over yourself, Aisha. So I just began to say, like, you delight, Lord, you delight in this right here, you delight in this. And it just began to break the hardness and the distance and the, like, I don't know if I can do that, or Lord, I don't know if I can look at you. It just began to break off of me, and I just began to break down. Like, after I sang it, I just started weeping, because it was literally like it just broke every lie of the enemy, every word. It just broke. And so I just walked away from that night, just was like free, just really free. And I hadn't felt that in a really long time. And I just was just like, wow, like, that's his truth. That's his eternal truth over me. And so a couple months later, I was in no rush to trying to write a song, but I really just asked the Lord. I was like, Lord, is this a song? Like, that is so powerful, and I feel like people can relate, and I feel like this is something that needs to be released. And so I remember just in my healing process is how I really wrote the song. And so one night I was just communing with him and loving on him, and he took me to Song of Psalms 2, chapter 2, and I was just reading about how the groom calls for her to come and to be with him, and she's like, no, I can't, like, don't look at me, I'm not worthy, I'm not beautiful enough. And he's like, come away with me, a new dawn is breaking, don't you see all the flowers are blooming, it's a new season. And it just rose up in my spirit of like, this is a new this is a new season that I'm walking in. This is what you have for me, Lord. And so I sat down, and I just was like, it was when I opened my heart up to you, Lord. It was when I rendered myself. And it was so funny, because my word that year for like 2019 was a yielded heart. So I was like, Lord, it was when I yielded my heart to you that you came in and you did the work. And so when you guys listen to the song, you'll hear that the first verse is kind of like my cry and prayer to the Lord, my petition of like, Lord, here I am with my heart rendered to you. I'm going to let go of everything I thought I knew, to the lies and the things that I used to believe. And I'm going to let your pure love sink deep within me. And then the second verse is kind of the Lord singing a song over me of saying, come away with me, come be with me. Let me change everything. Like, come and draw near and let me change everything. And then the bridge is probably my favorite part, because it's the revelation, it's the realization of like, when I do this, when we commune, when we come this close, when I delight in you and you delight in me, and now there's no distance between us. And this is where you set my heart back on course to you. And this is where your glory is. And this is what I was made for. I was created for this place to dwell with you here. And so this song is really a song that the Lord sung over me, and I'm in awe, and I'm getting a little bit teary-eyed now, but I'm in awe that I get to sing it and I get to release it. And I pray that as you listen to the song, if you are far, if you feel that distance, if you had if you have words of the enemy ringing in your ear louder than his voice, know that the Lord delights in you. Know that he comes near, and he He delights in your brokenness. He delights in your weakness. He delights in you not being okay. And he's there to restore your soul. He's there to heal you and mend you. And there's perfect communion in him. And when you come to the realization that he is your highest delight, you realize in return that his highest delight is you. So I hope you guys love the song and be blessed.